All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is Game 5 between Deezer and Combat X. This is the most awesome series I've ever casted, with the most rage and fury and BM and even a little bit of GM, just a little icing on top, between players that I've ever seen for StarCraft 2. This is Game 5. Combat X now blatantly stream cheating. It looks like they're playing on Tal'Darim Altar once again. Maybe Deezer was just like, hey, screw that, man. I want to play on Tal'Darim again. I want a rematch. And if Deezer wasn't stream cheating before, I would almost now condone him to do it, because Combat X blatantly did it to his face. I mean, yes, it would be more honorable to win without cheating, but I mean, honestly, who's keeping tabs? Seriously, you gotta fight fire with fire sometimes. You gotta bust out that stream and gotta figure out exactly what Combat X is doing. But strangely enough, there is no early probe moving out. No cheese as of yet. Both players are playing standard. What a surprise. And I don't know what that probe is doing. What is up with Combat X's rally pointing here? Okay, so he's going to be building a gateway right away. Both players building a gateway. Wow, we might have a standard game in our hands for the first time in this entire series. The two most cheesiest and most quote-unquote GM players ever, yes, it's a little bit of sarcasm, are finally going to possibly be using a standard build for once. I cannot believe it. And we may actually be able to determine who truly is the best player between Combat X and Deezer. So here we are, probes both, scouting whether or not that was, oh my god, apparently we had a lag spike or a pause, and boom, Combat X just said STFU. You know, that's what the mute list is for. There's a little squelch list on Battle.net. I wonder why Combat X doesn't use it. I don't know. So now Deezer and Combat X have both scouted each other, coincidentally scouted each other right away, knowing where they both spawned, whether or not that was coincidence or by a little bit of stream cheating or not, who knows. Combat X here, sending in that probe. He is the red Protoss once again, so thankfully keeping things a little less confusing. I've been getting used to calling Deezer the blue Protoss. Deezer, obviously the one spawning in the top, Combat X spawning in the south. And it looks like Deezer just trying to be a little bit annoying with this probe. Is he going to be able to eke out a probe kill? No, not quite so, and neither has Combat X. You know, that's usually a hallmark of a pretty good Protoss player, when they're able to kill off a probe or any worker with their own probe. Pretty high level stuff. But both these players are doing pretty well to keep their probes alive. Oh, we might have another Romeo and Juliet moment here. They may have a little kiss here at the Xel'Naga Tower. No, they're not going to be blessed by the chapel, unfortunately. And, oh man, both of them just bypassing each other. They're like ex-boyfriend and ex-girlfriend. They don't even care anymore. That's how much rage is in this matchup. And Deezer's going to go on home, tell his family how bad the boyfriend was. Abusive, domestic violence. Gonna sue them, put like a little restraining order 1 million miles away. Deezer here going for the 4-gate. It seems like Combat X wouldn't be surprised to see similar fashion. Yeah, both players gonna be 4-gating each other, and for once we do have a standard PvP from both these players. I think game 1 was pretty standard as well, which was on Xel'Naga Caverns. I think both players played a pretty standard matchup there, as I recall. So anyways, we'll see whose macro is better, whose micro is better. It does look like Deezer has a couple more harvesters, and that's not good. And in terms of production, Combat X may have his warp gates down just a little bit sooner. So Combat X is going to get a couple more units out before Deezer, and Deezer's going to have a little bit more economy. So we'll see what happens. Combat X right now occupying the Xel'Naga Tower is going to begin to move out to build his proximity pylon. Yes, I know a lot of players are like, does proxy pylon equal proximity pylon HD? No, it doesn't. I mean, it's just the way I call it. I call it a proximity pylon, but it's actually, proxy pylon does not equal proximity pylon. So just clearing up a little bit of that StarCraft 2 vocabulary for you guys. Does look like Deezer, you know, he's not moving out with a pylon across the center of the map, and when you're going for a 4-gate, you do want to build a pylon in the middle of the map. It helps to cut your reinforcement timing. Perhaps Deezer wants to play the defensive game here, and we'll see what happens. Both players exactly the same at 42 supply apiece. Both players have pretty similar units here. Deezer just has a little bit more in Harvesters rather than having a Stalker. So it's, oh, his Zealot here getting stuck in the back. That's not good. His Zealot was stuck by the Stalkers, and thankfully warping in a couple more Zealots, so he should be able to push Combat X out until Combat X is able to cycle in a new wave of reinforcements. And hello, 3 Zealots and a Stalker now on the way. Deezer quickly chrono boosting forces of his own out. It's just gonna come down to who has more units and who has better micro. For now, it does look like both players are pretty much dead even though. Very small differences on the tabs, as you guys can see. Deezer just edging out that small eco advantage. Combat X really being aggressive for this 4-gate. He has not constructed a single extra probe. He has cut probes at 20 supplies, only been chrono boosting his warp gates, so he really wants to end the game with this 4-gate. He's gonna push in here, but he needs his Zealots to engage the enemy Zealots. Gonna try to micro his forces, using his Stalkers pretty well, but Deezer has a much larger Stalker army in the back, and Combat X will have to fall back. Combat X will have to fall back. My voice is actually getting a little hoarse here from the epicness of this series, but Combat X has to fall back, will end up losing the pylon, and easy. Indeed, that is never good. That pretty much means that, I mean, in most cases, that would mean Deezer has won this game or has a sizable lead at this point. And Combat X, I don't know, short of some cheesy shenanigans, I don't know how he can win this game because his army is so much smaller than Deezer's right now. Deezer's micro was superior, his macro was superior. Combat X may be forced to engage here, thankfully choosing his terrain wisely on the high ground, kills off the probe. That was smart. That means no more pylons are going to come out, so now Combat X will be able to fall back into more reinforcements. In fact, is he going to warp in Zealots over here to attack the mineral line? No, he is not. Deezer, though, warping down from the pylon in the south tip of his base, so his reinforcement route isn't too far away. But he will want to bring a probe out here to build a pylon at the front of Combat X's main. And meanwhile, Combat X here, I think Combat may be in a little bit of trouble, guys. I'm not sure what Combat's going to be able to do at this point because he's so far behind in the army. He's got 2 less Stalkers, he's got 2 less Zealots, 1 less Stalker, 1 less probe. It all adds up, especially in a mirror matchup. You guys can tell that pronounced difference. But Combat X is going to try to even out the numbers a little bit with a little bit of a Zealot harass. Can he kill off any probes here? 2 Zealots warping in the mineral line. Combat X needs to quickly focus his efforts on killing as many probes as possible. And he's gonna get 2 probe kills, not bad at all. About an equal trade for that Zealot. And now Combat X, all he has to do is defend his front door, but that's an awful lot of Stalkers and Zealots out there. Will Combat X be able to do this? He pulled off a comeback. He was down 0-2 in this grudge match, in this epiness match. But is he going to lose it all here to a 4-gate attack by Deezer? Is Deezer the superior player? Combat X with all his smack talking, with all his stream cheating. Is he going to lose to Deezer? Deezer pushing in here, has Zealots attacking the Stalkers, and that is never a good situation. Zealots are much more sturdy than Stalkers. It looks like Combat X may be able to push out a little bit here, but will have to fall back without Zealot support. And oh no, Combat X not using his chrono boost. You need to use that chrono boost. Oh man, Combat X trying to warp in a hidden Zealot once again. Deezer slaying the Smackdown Hotel on Combat X. And Combat X, I'm not sure why he's not using chrono boost. That could be his undoing. Notice Deezer has been on top of his chrono boost for the majority of the game. Gonna be able to kill off a couple of Zealots is Combat X, but not really that much of a difference. Oh! Force fields getting laid down here. Combat X got the force fields out, able to kill off a couple of Zealots. Nice little comeback from Combat X, able to whittle down Deezer's army, and all the meanwhile was able to kill off several probes in Deezer's main. And now all of a sudden, Combat X with the Harvester advantage. If he can hold off this game, he will be able to produce more units than Deezer. And it looks like Deezer, oh my god. Oh my goodness, this game is so close. Combat X with a miracle comeback. That proxy pylon just showing how important it is in Protoss versus Protoss, but it looks like Combat X will not be able to hold the line. Will he be able to do it? He's not using chrono boost, for goodness sake. He has 100 energy on his Nexus, and that could be all she wrote in this epic series. Combat X versus Deezer is about to have its conclusion. Unfortunately for Mr. Combat X, for Mr. Wasif1119, chrono boost is key, and unfortunately, I guess he's a little absent-minded about his chrono boost today. So yeah, the Stalkers now engaging the pylon. Down goes the powering pylon. Mommy, we have a blackout. It looks like Combat X is going to have to rebuild the pylon, but it's all hope is lost at this point. I don't see him winning this game, even though he's striking down the probes inside the mineral line. That is going to be quickly dispatched of, and now Combat X, one last ditch attempt. Hold the Alamo! Can he do it? He's using his probes here, but really, guys, he has no pylons to rebuild, and Deezer, you mad, bro? Oh, man, and that is gonna be all she wrote. Don't know how you can complain about the map when it's a PvP, when it's a mirror matchup, but yes, that is gonna be all she wrote, and I believe Deezer is gonna win this game. So I will let you guys enjoy the chat. This is HD, signing out till next time. Oh, I forgot to mention, guys. Yes, I was watching the chat the whole time as well. If you guys have a chance, make sure to check the links down below. Destiny's stream and Destiny's YouTube channel. Awesome guy. He was the one who sent me these replays, so show your support for the StarCraft 2 community. And yeah, that'll